Yo, my peoples, I'm Amy.E, and welcome to the 39th episode of
The hell
EasyCast.
was that?
Um,
How'd you stutter with your hands?
No, I didn't stutter. I said 39.
It looked like you had like a seizure.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. Almost at 40.
That's crazy.
This is an interesting setting.
Yeah, maybe come a bit my way.
My way. Hey, no, not trying to get copy striked. Copyright striked.
Hey, actually, I need to get my phone, so
Yeah.
one second.
My topics, buddy.
Yeah.
Topics, buddy. Wow, I'm prepared for the podcast, guys. Well, you can't see, but as you can see, we are in a hotel at the moment.
We are indeed.
That's why we
I
are
think you
recording
can
in
tell.
this. Yeah, that's why we're recording this setting at the moment. And where is said hotel, Hadi?
Said hotel appears to be in the glorious country of Japan.
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
I don't know if they'll know it.
Probably
Actually,
not.
it got really popular.
Yeah, but
so
it won't make sense from what I'm saying. But
fair.
yeah, nah. We're in Japan right now, looking out the window that you can't see because angles didn't work.
Angle is kind
They
of
have
fast. Yeah.
just to start it,
Mm.
the hotels in Japan, they're all their rooms are really closed, like really closed, really small.
Well, that's mainly in Tokyo.
Tokyo,
Yeah,
yeah.
Tokyo, Shibuya, yeah.
Because there's a million of them and there's so many people, tourists, blah blah. You're not really spending time in the hotel. The point is to get out and see the
you know-
literally endless city.
And because of the podcast, it feels like we went to Japan not that long ago. I mean, it
But
wasn't.
we didn't go.
It wasn't that long ago, but it feels so like connected because it's like
Yeah.
each podcast feels like a 1 week. Like a timestamp, 1 week timestamp. You know what I mean?
I get what you mean. I get what you
I
mean.
know how to
'Cause,
explain it.
No, it's because in your head the number of months or the number of days
It's
between.
related, but no.
It's listen. Like the number of days between when we last went is a really big number, right?
Yeah.
For the time spent, but the number of episodes between
Is
us
not a
going
lot.
Isn't that much?
I relate each week to one episode.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
So like basically it's like
What I did that week, basically, is that what you mean? Or
yeah, it's
how
kind
the
of like
time went?
everything to me, like how I look back on it is like everything, all 7 days I put into just one like episode, and that's how I see it as like smaller.
Fair
Like
enough.
I'm seeing each week as much smaller now as like just like a week in review, not like
Yeah.
by day. I'm taking it by weeks.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I just wanted
Yeah.
to mention.
I was gonna say,
wanted
make
to
sure you
mention,
mention.
yeah. Not to mention, I'm plugging myself. This episode is sponsored by me.
SHMOGZZ V-Bucks store.
SHMOGZZ V-Bucks store, man. I started a V-Bucks store, selling cheap V-Bucks for the boys. When I put out the message to people, that I'm selling V-Bucks, everyone was like, "Bro, did your account get hacked?
Get hacked.
Are you
yeah.
scamming?" No, I don't. It's only Australia based right now, but maybe I'll change it. Maybe you'll be able to change soon. You never know.
That's fair. That's
But
fair.
yeah, for those who are in Australia and interested in getting some cheap V-Bucks, I can get you. I've got like an opening sale, but it might have ended by the time. Who knows?
Who knows?
If you see this and you say you came from the podcast, you can still get the opening sale price. How about that?
Oh, They
So
wouldn't know
instead-
unless they watched the
They wouldn't
episode
know
too.
exactly. So
You get the
instead of
opening price.
$120 for 30,500 V-Bucks, I can get it for you for 60. I'd be different like that.
That's opening price
That's,
only.
that's different like that. Half price.
Make
for
sure
V-
you join the WhatsApp and the Discord.
Yeah, I'll link him.
In the description?
Yeah,
Alright,
yeah,
fairs,
yeah,
fairs.
yeah. But yeah,
That's it, my
cheeky.
sponsor.
Thank you, SHMOGZZ, for sponsoring today's episode.
no problem.
What? But yeah, start us off, mate.
Well, I'm gonna start you off. Since we're in a hotel room, I'll relay some funny information. Basically, this is about 2 weeks ago. The last episode you would have seen, I was really sick, right? And when I was sick, I was out of it. That's why I was gonna say like now. I was hoping today I'd be a lot more energetic, but then I got hit by waking up for Fajr, like morning prayer, after
Yeah.
2 hours of like getting up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and it just hit me. And so now I'm kind of
Kind
like
of what,
my
broken
eyes are
sleep?
like it's like broken sleep. I got good hours, but I just have like my eyes feel just heavy.
I think that's kind of what happens when you first get decent sleep after jet lag, because you got good
Yeah.
hours. I think you wouldn't really be affected that much because that does happen normally. Like people get up, go
Yeah.
prayer, then they'll get up, go Fajr, then they'll
Yeah,
get up
yeah.
again. Like you never know. Like it happens at night. So I reckon.
It's
I reckon it's the jet lag.
yeah.
That's why.
But yeah, so in saying that, sorry for last episode. I was not there.
Yeah,
I
that was
even the episode
interesting.
before. I was because I saw the timestamps. So I was sick then as well, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, but at least I had a bit more energy. Like the medicine kicked in, but it turns out the medicine was a double-edged sword and ended up poisoning myself with the Panadol and like paracetamol and stuff like that.
What, your liver?
Yeah, so my liver ended up getting poisoned. But you know what's so weird? I'm just giving context to everything, but just it's I mean it's a good story anyways. Like me getting sick was like I had two of the rarest occurrences happening together at the same time. So I had influenza A because we were at Umrah in Saudi. So
Yeah.
basically a lot of people
From a lot of different countries, just
just
bring a lot of
everyone's
different bacteria all
sicknesses.
over them, and
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah, yeah.
sicknesses, and no one really. There's no hygiene.
Nah.
In other people, like not other countries that have different hygiene morals, I guess you could
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah.
standards.
So pretty much I caught influenza A, but then at the same time I had an ulcer because of I have this thing where if I don't have actually that reminds me I gotta have a vitamin B12. I get a reaction in my mouth like ulcers if I have any fruits or anything like that. So we just we fix the
It feels
posture.
weird, man. It feels weird.
Because we're never like sitting like this, so like
Yeah.
cross-legged. Um, so I get like a reaction for having any fruits, acidic stuff, anything like that. And I get ulcers in my mouth. So I had one because I forgot to take my vitamins, and then that influenza A, I had a reaction. I ended up getting a second bacterial infection. So I had viral
Two?
and bacterial at the same time.
What?
Yeah. So I had both in
How
my
you supposed
body
to
at
deal
the
with
same
that?
time.
Because one of
So-
them you have to leave, and the other one you have to give medicine. So if you
Yeah.
give medicine when you're not supposed to,
Exactly.
it's gonna solve one, ruin the other. It just doesn't make sense.
So my body was all over itself trying to fight it off, and then I had on top of that the medicine ended up working eventually. I had to end up getting the drip, and then and I literal eyes
Shut up.
okay. I had to get the drip, and then from there I ended up getting better, but then alhamdulillah, yeah. But then I had the reaction where
Yeah,
my body didn't know how to take all that medicine, so it cured all the fever and everything.
but you poisoned your
But
liver.
then I
basically.
poisoned my liver, and so I had to take something else to counteract that to like
Yeah.
reset my liver. But what that meant was for 4 days, I was sick for like a week, right? Of just like real pure sickness, my head, ears, throat, like everything, like
Yeah.
really badly. You
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
I didn't even leave like the hotel to
No,
go down
bro,
to the Kaaba
honestly, I wouldn't.
once. I only
Bro.
went during Umrah,
Yeah,
just
like the
the
first
first
night.
time. I didn't leave the building.
That's
I
crazy.
couldn't leave it. Only to leave to go back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Like, I'm not gonna lie. When you were sick, if I brought you and sick, and if I brought you high on weed, right? I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. You were so faded, like you were just like
No, I would just
all
sit
day,
there
you
like
just wouldn't, no reaction, like
light work.
no reaction at all, just dead, most
Yeah.
monotone. I think like you're
It's
just so
because
gone.
when I get sick, I really don't handle it well. Like I can't handle sickness as well. I'm not good at like
I
handling
wonder
things.
if maybe that wasn't the best example to put out. Like as you can see, like I don't really handle sickness as well, but I don't remember the last instance you got like a small sickness and had trouble with it.
Yeah,
Because you did get pretty much a really strong sickness.
this was the thing is like
Because I'm trying to think how well could I handle it, but I don't
I
know,
know,
and I don't really.
you don't want to know,
I wouldn't
yeah,
like to know.
trust me, you
Alhamdulillah,
don't.
I'd rather stay healthy. You know.
Yeah, under that. But yeah, because handling it, I was gonna say something like I'm just completely lost my train of thought. But like we're talking about handling the pain, right?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, pain's been tough, man. No, yeah, go on. Sorry, that's so stupid. That was so bad. That was really, really bad. And I
It
really like to
was.
apologize. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn it! I'm trying to freaking remember what I was saying.
All right, then I'll drop an interesting fact while you try to remember.
I know what it is.
Okay, well, I'm gonna drop an interesting fact while you try to remember.
Is that gonna go off topic though?
On the topic of sickness.
I go.
Some people don't get sick as easily as others because they were breastfed for longer. The longer you're breastfed, the better it is for you, and the later into your, or the longer actually you keep. Some people, so some people when they're born, the mum does not cut the umbilical cord off. They leave it for the next 2-3 days because those 2-3 days actually are the most important. I'm pretty sure, like more nutrients and more like.
What do you mean doesn't
stuff.
cut the umbilical
They don't
cord
cut
off?
the umbilical cord.
So they're
straight
still
away.
connected to the mother.
Yes.
From the bottom.
Yes.
For 2 to 3 days.
Yes.
It's just hanging out.
Yeah, they do something so the umbilical cord's still connected. Yeah, I don't know how. Maybe I think
they cut.
I think it's only for C-sections. because that way it can still be connected through the stomach. You know what I mean?
So it's your stomach is just always open.
Not open, but there'll be like a spot for it, right? So let me explain. Right? So more
Explain,
nutrients
okay.
comes in those couple days,
Yeah.
or maybe I think maybe it's one day.
Yeah,
right?
whatever. Yeah.
Than a long time of the entire pregnancy.
Mm.
And being breastfed for a long time, up to like a year maybe,
Yeah.
is actually also the same. Like it stops a lot of sicknesses. Older, you don't get sick often. That's
Yeah.
why for me, I don't get sick often.
Yeah.
But for you or for other people that I know that were like maybe someone 2 weeks,
Yeah.
some 3 weeks.
Breastfed for 3 weeks.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then there was like
nothing.
I'll be like 8, 9 months, 1 year. Some people,
Yeah.
right? Those people get so much like sick so much easier.
Or
and
at least
faster.
they can't handle it as much.
No, I don't think. No, that's just that doesn't really matter.
I'm saying
It's
like
how.
immune system.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that they get sick easier.
Well, not necessarily. It just means like you can't. Well, yeah, but if you can still get sick, but if you have a strong immune system, it just fights it off way faster.
That's my point. So
Yeah.
you're getting sick.
You
Faster.
get no.
You get noticeably sick.
Yeah.
Faster.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get my point. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting fact. So for those watching, breastfeed your kids as soon as possible and keep them on there for a long time.
We don't have any mothers. Actually, you know what? There
Maybe,
probably is some.
maybe. You never know. You never know. One of those 13 viewers,
Hey, last video right now it's a 3 out of 10, which is good.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
The last 10 videos have been bad, so.
That's
No,
the
I'm
thing. So
kidding.
now we have a new standard. Every
A new
10
standard,
videos, there's a
yeah.
new standard. So, it started off with a couple hundred, and then it started off with, right now it's
like 60.
no,
Alhamdulillah.
alhamdulillah. Look, it's about the
I
message.
mean, it's not like that anyways. Like you got to drop at least 100 videos before you start saying anything.
Exactly. I mean, we're almost halfway, but
Inshallah.
still, we got to post a bit more shorts and stuff like that. But as we're gonna get into it, we've been quite busy, and
Yeah.
I've been like almost like yeah. What I was gonna say is that was the worst sickness I've had ever in my life.
You reckon?
No, yeah, 100%. I didn't have anything as worse as I did because I'm gonna get alhamdulillah. Obviously it could have been worse, but like the worst part about it was after the sickness was done, I had the reaction to my liver caused my hands to be extremely itchy.
Oh,
No
yeah.
matter how much I
Imagine.
itched, I would still be itchy. I would itch and then I'd itch and I'd itch. I didn't sleep for like 4 or 5 days, or maybe even longer. I didn't sleep. I barely slept
Oh, that sounds so
because it's
bad.
like I only slept when I was so tired to the point where I would forget about the feeling. I had to be that tired. Then I got maybe maximum 2 hours, and then I would wake up from the feeling of itchiness again, and I would just be uncomfortable, itch, and I just wouldn't sleep, and I have to live through the night and just wait and wait and wait, and then it went from my hands down to my body, and then it went into my legs. So it like moved away. So it means it was going, but it was moving. So it was my hands and then my legs, and the legs was even worse because it meant like I was always just like doing this like that in the bed. It wasn't as close to my hands, I could just rub my hands on something, but my legs like I had to keep reaching. So anyway, with all that context, I was like dead in bed pretty much, but alhamdulillah. This is when we're in the hotel, dead in bed. The cleaners.
Wait, hold up. All of that was just for you to finally say this story.
No, but I wanted to say this.
Bruh, ain't no way. I forgot that you were saying a story.
I wanted to give this context regardless.
Context?
No.
You read a novel.
I want to give this story
What
regardless.
kind of documentary are you making?
Listen, I wanted to give this story anyways. Like I wanted to say why I was so dead.
All right. Anyway,
And that we've overcome throughout the last, 10, 20 days.
Sure.
Because it was
Yeah.
Anyway, I was in bed in the hotel, yeah, and no one was inside. And this was me trying to capture some rest after, not barely sleeping during the night. And so I'm half asleep, and then I'm dreaming, right?
Yep.
And then I dreamed the Akira ding.
What?
Yeah.
The Akira meme?
Yeah. Akira ding.
Yeah.
And I keep hearing the ding. Akira ding. And then I'm like, is this my dream or is this actually real? And then what happened was, I just hear the door opening, and I'm like,
oh crap!
What? And then it's like the cleaner. Oh, the cleaner saying, oh, oh, I'm like, come back later, come back later. And I'm just like,
Bro, so you every time it rung, you just heard Akira.
yeah. It was in my dream. I was hearing
Get out of my head.
I was hearing the Akira meme. I was trying to sleep, bro, because like I was just faded, and I'm just hearing ding, and I'm like, Akira, and I kept happening. It started getting louder and louder. I'm like, maybe this is real.
Bro, that's messed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I actually find that happening a lot. In
Yeah.
your dreams, when you hear a noise from the outside, it just incorporates itself to make sense in your dream.
Happen?
I don't know. Honestly, don't know. It's like your brain doesn't want to wake up, so it's like filter it in, add it in. It's an extra. It's an extra.
DLC to your dream.
Alright, sure.
Okay. Crazy.
But yeah, now to get to what you actually want to hear, the big time crunch, Shibuya.
Shibuya, that's true. Why are we here? We've already explained before, but
Yeah.
for those who are listening to this for the first time,
quick explanation. We're here to do a little oh, wow, yeah, no, it's a petite papa. Nah, to do a study exchange. What?
Daigaku Benkyo.
That's it in Japanese for those who are gonna wonder what the hell.
Just university studies.
University
We're doing
study, yeah.
one subject that counts to our engineering degree because we're both doing engineering. Alhamdulillah. So we're doing one subject as just Japanese as an exchange student in a university that's in Kanagawa. It's like about one prefecture down from Tokyo. And we're here for 2 months with Saeed as well. He's coming.
Yeah, you're
Saeed
gonna
from the
see it
podcast is coming next episode, inshallah. Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't.
So we're gonna be here for 2 months, but we came just like a couple days early, staying in Shibuya just to settle in for the time difference from Lebanon to here. As you can tell, like as what I was explaining, we're still trying to adjust to it.
Yeah.
But it's so bad coming from Lebanon, that side of the world, to Australia's time zone, to Japanese time zone.
It's weird, like going forward.
Yeah.
And then
Going backwards is so much
when
easier.
When it's 3 p.m., 5 p.m., and you're hit with that wave of tiredness
Oh.
because technically it's like 7 a.m., 8 a.m. in Lebanon.
Yeah.
And
so you stayed up the whole night technically. Yeah.
exactly. So you just get absolutely.
But that first night, the first day that we stayed, so we slept at like 2:30 a.m. whatever.
Yeah.
We got okay sleep. We got like 6 hours, 5 hours.
Probably slept like 4.
Fairs, yeah. But that first day, remember it was like 5 p.m. We got hit with the fattest wave of tiredness.
Oh my god, bro! 5 p.m. and we were so finished. I don't even understand like how I stayed up for another like 3 hours. 8:30, I was finished.
Or in a cafe drinking this hot chocolate, and obviously it's gonna make it worse. It's freezing outside, so this is so like it's like cozy vibes right now.
Yeah,
so you get cozy, and you just want to like shove and just like sleep, and just, in the warm AC. You just want to.
It was just the vibes, and then I couldn't go any longer. I slept at 8:30 instead of like 10:30.
Yeah, I waited. I ended up
stayed,
sleeping at like 11:30.
I don't know how he did that. I can't lie.
I
I was
showered.
literally on the side of the bed, just literally half asleep, and then I was like, stuff it, and I slept there.
Yep, fairs.
But yeah. No, we'll talk about some interesting stuff. We did mention last time we were in Shibuya, or like what happened while we were in Shibuya. Cause we never ended up recording. This is actually us recording in Japan.
We weren't actually in Japan when we recorded.
Yeah. So one of the things that we mentioned earlier, which we did see on the first night, because we went and tried to get food, but it was late at night. And
this time or last night? Yeah.
But it also happened last time. Late at night, there are a lot of like a fair amount of drunk people.
Yeah, drunk people.
Drunk young people.
Yeah.
So you do bump into the occasional guy vomiting on the side of the
road.
Oh,
yeah.
Twice, which was interesting for us. The first, and then you bump into what else do you bump into? Just random crap at night.
There's look, the thing is, right, this is like the Las Vegas of Japan, right?
Pretty much.
And remember, this is at nighttime, 11, 12, 12 a.m., 11 p.m. It's like, it's quite, late. That's when everyone's starting to drink out. That's when most shops are closed. And that's when the izakayas and the pubs and all that are starting to open.
Starting to open.
They're still like there. That's when they're busy.
I guess even if like everything else is closing, that's when they have to leave. So they leave drunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so,
but honestly, I just saw many people just hopping from like 7-Eleven to 7-Eleven, grabbing beers and going to the next one. Bang, bang, bang.
Really?
Yeah, they just go to one and they drink and they keep going.
Yeah. Look, that's a bad culture here. Or like,
but it's not the main culture. Like it's seen, but it's such like it's like when I don't know how you say it, like or all men are bad, for example,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
all women are bad, but then it just be such a small amount that do something, and then people kind of base it off the whole thing.
It's like what I was saying. If you're going to Las Vegas in America, or you know,
your idea
you gotta
of America.
expect
Yeah,
that
your
you're
idea of
going
America is going to be different.
to
But if you
people
go
like casinos or drunk people,
Yeah.
whatever. Obviously, there aren't really. We only saw like one casino here. Oh wait, no.
no, they've
There's
got
there's
different
the
type of
coin
casinos.
machines.
They
Yeah,
got
yeah,
those
yeah.
coin machine ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the difference is like if you're gonna go to Las Vegas, you're gonna have that idea of America.
Yeah.
But if you end up going like Texas, you're gonna have some completely different idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Sweet Home Alabama type ideas.
Alabama's a different state.
Oh, you're actually right. But
It's-
Texas
it's
is like
Houston, Texas, baby.
But they kind of really. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Nah, but they do got that country type.
They did
you
the
know?
country type weird stuff, but they're not really weird. But
Sure.
anyway,
Sure.
what's happened recently in the world? The Alaska plane, the Max Boeing, the
Yeah,
new plane
Boeing Max.
ended up.
Yeah.
They let it go. Like they actually, set it off. Like they made it commercial. You know, people
I think it's
flying.
been commercial for a little bit.
Oh, really?
Before, yeah, I don't think that was the first flight because the Max Boeing was like a prototype type thing. I don't know if it was a prototype, but it was like an idea.
Yeah.
And they made it and they tested it and it didn't go well.
Mm.
I think maybe they had it commercially for a bit because there was an accident with over 200 deaths.
Oh, that's just doggies out, mate. So
Yeah,
keep it in.
Nah, keep 'em in, mate. So there was an accident with like 200 deaths. So they discontinued it and I think they kept working on it on the side.
Yeah.
And then they ended up bringing it back for commercial use. But
Mm.
it was just such a faulty plane for no reason. They shouldn't have done it. The Boeing Max, I think it was a Max Boeing.
Yeah, Boeing Max.
So then there was a recent flight in Alaska.
Alaskan Airlines.
Alaskan
yeah.
Airlines, sorry.
Yeah.
Where I'm gonna assume it's in Alaska, but probably not. 20 minutes into the flight, the door on the side of the plane just rips off.
Yeah.
And there's a kid sitting right next to that door.
Yeah.
He doesn't fly out, but his shirt
Yeah.
rips off himself and gets sent out the plane.
And they got injured. Obviously,
Obviously,
like your
'cause, like,
skin's burning or not burning, but like the wind is like
it will kind of
dragging
freeze
your
you,
skin. It's kind of like taking off your skin. If it took off
Maybe.
the shirt, if it ripped the shirt,
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
ripping
and like
your
especially
skin.
because you've got the seat bottom, right?
yeah,
So it's gonna be pulling you out.
Yeah.
So you're like hit your what is this, like your lower
Yeah.
abdomen area, I guess.
yeah, your
It's
abs,
gonna be
your lower hip.
absolutely bruised. You could break bones. Like it's
Oh,
not.
People. I think there were 20 injured people on
Yeah,
the
that's
flight because
crazy.
you got to remember the plane is Max Boeing, so it's even bigger than a normal Boeing.
Is it?
So yeah, so it's just a lot of people. The people at the front. I was watching a whole
Yeah.
video in the morning. That's what you asked me about.
Yeah.
The people in the front didn't know what was happening.
No, I saw a video of a woman who was on the news talking about what happened. She didn't know what was going on because all they saw was
Was the
the
things come
mask
down,
drop
yeah.
down, and they're like, oh, like they were just thinking like, what's wrong? It doesn't, you
Yeah.
don't really feel anything wrong, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just it was weird to them, but the people in the back were,
Yeah.
it was just an absolute freak show. So
But you gotta because I think there were people with kids and they're trying to hold them
of
back,
course.
like because imagine all that force coming through.
yeah,
But you know what the craziest thing is? First of all, I think a day later or 2 days later, they found the door in a teacher's backyard, right? And then what's even crazier than that, okay? They found 2 iPhones,
Okay,
mainly one
yeah.
of them, still on, okay, with 50% charge, opened up to the email of them being on Alaskan Airlines, fallen into someone's backyard or something like on the street. It survived, full survived.
Wow, must have been through like 23 trees. before
5
I found that out.
kilometers.
It's like what?
It landed on grass, but still 5 kilometers. Obviously, there's something called terminal velocity.
I was gonna say
So-
after about like 15 meters, you kind of hit your max speed.
I think this one, I was reading comments and stuff. It was like 300 meters or something.
I don't think no. I think you hit your max
All-
speed
all
a
this-
lot
look,
faster.
Whatever it is, if I drop the iPhone from the top of this building,
Yeah,
if it drops on someone's head at the bottom, like if it falls on the floor, you're gonna assume it's gonna break.
It's gonna break,
right?
Yeah.
So it
I
fell
don't know,
from
hey,
the plane.
listen, all I'm saying is whatever case they had on, crazy promotion.
No. So basically, they had this case called the Moose case.
yeah.
And so in the comments of all the news one, they're like, this is just a free promotion. or
Free
something.
promotion,
Like
yeah.
the people that own the account are
Yeah.
making memes about it and
Fuck.
saying like, hey, we told you that it's
We
a good
told you to
case.
buy it.
Yeah. And it survived. But it's even crazier that it was open up to the email of them being in Alaskan Airlines.
They're
Like
just reading it and then
it was still on.
Gone.
No, because everyone's phone just flew out of their hands. That's how
Yeah.
strong it
of
was.
course, yeah. I mean, I'd try and hold on. Maybe I don't know. Feel like I
I
could.
feel like you could,
I
yeah.
could,
But it's
yeah.
just
But no,
unexpected.
but you can't expect it. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna be like watching something, bang, oh,
Crazy.
crazy. Yeah,
New season
exactly.
of Jujutsu Kaisen gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
Almost done.
Yep.
Almost done. Couple episodes left for me.
Yeah. You gotta watch it.
I do. I guess
I
I'm gonna
genuinely
keep it
think
spoiled.
it's one of the most well executed seasons of an anime ever.
Yeah.
I think
a
it
lot of
has
people
to
are
be
saying
top
it's so.
3
Everyone's saying
most.
it's perfect.
Yeah, it is perfect. And it could have been even more perfect to think about if they had more time.
Yeah.
Just
We
thinking
already
about
spoke
how
about that. Yeah.
how crazy that would have been. But in general, anyways, like the whole story, that what they added, Mappa added a lot of scenes that weren't even in the manga, but like anime original scenes added to the fight scenes and made them longer and more
Really?
interesting and whatever. Like a lot of memes scenes that you've seen and you haven't seen yet, which we will get to when you finish watching it. A lot of them are all been added by Mappa. They're all original scenes. So it's all just
Oh yeah. Okay.
yeah, by the
Yeah.
studio that
Yeah,
made
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, just crazy. There's just so much happening here. There's this pop-up cafe of Jujutsu Kaisen. There's so many cafes, man. There's so many, like there's just everything. It's. Then there's a lot of halal options, surprisingly. Like I didn't
Yeah,
think
so
as much as there was, but
this time round, after being with our good friend Nabito,
Naruto, yeah.
who we might get to do a
Inshallah,
podcast
yeah.
with inshallah.
Again.
Can that be crazy in person this time?
Hmm.
No calls. We want physical.
Episode 21, if you wanna
If you want to
refer
go back,
to it, if
yeah,
you wanna
yeah,
go back and watch
that's the one.
he basically finds halal spots in Japan, or like
Yeah.
he's a part of a company that it's an app called Halal Navi, and they basically list like halal spots in Japan, and it's not from other people as well recommending the spot saying this is halal. You can find them on the app, and then you can visit them.
Yeah,
because
there's
a lot
more
of
spots
places.
than we thought.
Yeah.
because like obviously Japan, they do love their pork.
Yeah,
And you can't stop someone from loving food.
yeah.
So
That's just what they've grown up.
yeah,
on,
that's how it is here. So it was at first a lot harder to find halal options, and then they
Yeah.
noticed the population growing of Muslims,
Yeah.
and of course you gotta
Cater
change,
for-
you gotta
yeah.
cater, you gotta custom, you know what I mean? So they did that, and now there's like a much wider range of foods you can get. So 99% of foods that are usually not halal, you can get a halal option now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like it will be like the meats, the ramen,
Yeah.
the sushi. I mean,
Sushi is genuine. It's always
generally,
it's
yeah, but like
seafood,
could be
yeah.
like wine and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know, that sort of stuff.
Look,
you know what I mean?
there's difference of opinion in terms of that sense, like how much, like how sometimes
Yeah,
say if
yeah,
you have
yeah.
like Tim Tam chocolates, for example, that
Tim
0.01%.
Tam, it has 0.01% when it's so little.
They say
it's
if
actually
you take it in a ginormous amount,
of water. If you
it-
put it in, no, this is the thing. You get a
yeah,
tub of
10
water.
gallons, I
I think
think.
it's 10 gallons of water, and you put one drop, right?
Yeah.
If you mix it and it
Yeah.
changes the color of it, then no, you can't have it. If it
Or if
doesn't,
not the color, if it actually makes
sorry, if
you,
yeah.
like it makes you drunk from it, or it makes you affected in any way.
yeah.
Yeah. If you take like that amount and put it in, yeah, that whatever. You get the point. So generally speaking, the seafood and all that is all fine. But yeah, we've done some like crazy things like you fish for your own food.
Yeah, you fish for the
And then
fish
you
for your
cook
own,
it.
you
No,
fish for
they
your own
cook-
fish, and then they cook
Yeah,
it for
fair,
you.
yeah.
And then we did the one where what's it called, it's not teppanyaki.
Yakiniku?
Yakiniku.
Yeah, so Japanese barbecue with halal, like certified beef. This spot is like a proper spot. But the only thing is with the really halal certified places with the
they're bound
yakiniku
to be
barbecue,
expensive
they're quite expensive.
because
Yeah,
it's harder to get halal certified because there's a smaller range of it. You know what I
Range
mean?
of people.
Because it's a longer process. It's a different process to the
Yeah.
usual. So the machines that come from different things, and
yeah,
all of it like goes back and further back to having to cater.
yeah.
And when it's a small population, it's gonna cost more.
But in all honesty, I was not expecting, for example, there's a lot of malls and like Tokyo Station, all of that, they all have prayer rooms with
Yeah,
built
yeah.
areas. There's like mosques here. There's lots of not necessarily big mosques. I know there's the couple major big ones, but there's a lot of like musallas, like prayer rooms, and
Prayer
stuff
rooms,
like that. Just
yeah.
a lot of prayer rooms, places, small areas where they do like Friday prayers as well. There's actually a decent
There's a
amount.
community,
There's
yeah,
there's
there's a
actually a community. There's a lot more Muslim population of Japanese people, not
Yeah,
just obviously
No,
now
like a lot of people like coming from outside, but we're talking about like Japanese in general. Like,
Yeah.
Japanese people.
because yeah, for Japanese people in 1999, I think the amount was
No one's gonna get
that meme.
No one's gonna get it. That's so dumb. I don't know if you'll see it on the camera. As soon as you said in 1999, I looked up and you're like, no one's gonna know it, and I
I
can't
want to
even
know
play
what the
it.
time. Okay, 29 minutes. Almost that 30 minutes
Oh,
is when
We're
we're gonna wrap it up. But pretty much, in 1999, I think the amount of people were like 40,000 or 20,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
In 2020, before the major
COVID.
COVID stuff, right?
Yeah.
They recorded the amount of people, and this was like an estimate
Yep.
of, and it's estimated to be even more.
Yeah.
That was 200,000 to 300,000,
Wow.
Muslims, and of that being, I think like, I think half or 100,000 of those being actual Japanese, pure like Japanese, not
Really?
married to someone,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
actual Japanese. But then now, post COVID, they haven't done anything for it,
No,
but
but-
you can tell the amount of people that, for example, like Navito, post COVID, he went to Malaysia to study. And then that's how he knew about, Muslims. And a lot of people find out because a lot of them do a lot of exchange in Malaysia.
Yeah, it's
So
a common thing.
it's
apparently.
very,
Yeah.
very common. So a lot of people go to Malaysia, they do exchange, and they start to know about Muslims. Here, the problem is it's not a problem, but it's just like they're very closed off to the outside world. They don't really know a lot. But like you were saying,
I was
you don't
saying
think
there's-
that they would know about the Holocaust. Like,
Yeah, no, it's true. There was showing there's the sign of like the can I say it?
probably not, just so it doesn't get censored. But
The icon
Yeah.
of the can I say
Yeah.
it? Like,
yeah, whatever, the NZI.
yeah,
yeah.
of Adolf's group.
Yeah.
Right? We'll find out if we can say it now. You just got to do a quick
Little
search.
Dolphy's group, mate.
Yeah, the big Dolph, you know what I'm saying? Nah.
Okay, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Of Adolf's group, the sign of it, if it's reversed and has a little different thing about it, it's similar to one of the signs on Google Maps that Japanese people use to know where there's a shrine
Yeah.
or not a shrine. I think is it a shrine? Yeah, it's a shrine.
It's also in
Or a
Tokyo
temple.
Revengers.
Sorry. All right, great. That's great.
Okay.
Irrelevant.
Yeah, anyway.
But when they were showing it to people, they showed it to like younger people, like 20-year-old, 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
Right. They're showing it to them, and they go, "Oh, that's the sign for the temples. Like
Mm.
that's how we know they're there." And then they showed them the
Other symbol.
the other symbol, Adolf symbol.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, I don't know.
Mm.
What is that?" Right.
Wakaranai.
Yeah. Sorry. Wakaranai. Because we're speaking Japanese now, because we're learning. Yeah. We got to pass. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
But when they asked like the old guy, an older guy, he knew obviously.
Yeah,
'Cause, like it was big news then, I'm guessing. But he obviously
a
wasn't.
lot of like us and like not us and I was saying I'm speaking Arabic now.
Yeah.
Like the older people generally are into politics.
Yeah, politics and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, like they're very closed off. They live in their own world. The
Yeah.
idea they have, for example, of like America is like
Yeah.
only like the most popular things from America, the
Yeah.
most popular music
the most-
artists,
like Taylor
Swift.
I don't even think they even know about
Eminem,
Drake really.
No, Drake as well. Like the top, like the movies that they know about would be like Forrest Gump,
Yeah.
Home Alone. I saw a woman wearing a watch that had the comic drawings of Marilyn Monroe,
Yeah.
like that type of stuff. Like it's really, really like tip of the iceberg, but the
Mm.
highest peak, right?
Mm.
So yeah, it's interesting to see how the way they view the outside.
But but they're not closed-minded. It's just
No,
they're
closed
closed off.
off,
Yeah.
yeah.
So they're actually quite open-minded people. They're very accepting. Like, and it's not like, for example,
it shows with the way they do things.
yeah, and the way of life of Islam, right? Because that is the true way of life, for like at least for us, and that's how
Yeah.
it should be. That's what we believe.
yeah,
It doesn't cross any boundaries or differ with most of Japanese morals. You get what I
Yeah.
mean? The only thing is the drinking culture
drinking.
and the pork, and then obviously when it comes to
marriage and stuff.
no, not marriage, but like for example, like Buddha or like temples and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like that's
their
just that's actually a religion. That's
Yeah,
their
that's
own
their
religion.
religion. But we're just saying
The way of
the
life.
culture is
Yeah.
different to religion. Culture is different.
Exactly.
Because you can have a Jewish Japanese person or a Christian Japanese person, but
Mm.
they'll live very similarly moral wise
Yeah.
to a traditional
Japanese.
Buddhist Japanese. You know what I mean?
So that's what I'm saying. Like Muslim mannerisms, the way of life of a Muslim is very similar to the culture of Japanese.
Yeah.
It actually
Yeah.
fits really well. So there is, when people like from the outside are try to be racist, like in those religious comments and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and whatever they say, like, oh no, you're ruining your. They say like if a country is the way it is, why should people invade the country with their ideas and beliefs and whatever and change up their culture?
Yeah.
No, the opposite. The you become one with the culture, really. You become
Yeah.
even more one with the culture, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, the only things is like, you know, you can still visit shrines, you can still do all that, not in terms of in a religious way, just to sightsee
Like
and
sightseeing,
whatever.
yeah, as long as it doesn't all of a sudden become like, oh no, I want to go to this shrine
Yeah.
now.
Mhm.
No, yeah, that's today's podcast. You know,
Yeah.
today's interesting dive into Shibuya.
There's definitely, we're gonna record as many as we can here every
Yeah.
week, and try to record even extra to, you know,
Yeah,
to
so I can
supply
keep
some
going.
good good information, good you know, podcasts, and maybe even do like ones outside and whatnot, and like do like a vlogcast kind of
Who
thing.
knows?
The only thing is we need a stabilizer for the camera,
Yeah,
because it shakes a
way
lot.
too much, mate. Way too
Yeah,
much. I
yeah.
ain't getting
Well,
paid for that. But if you buy from SHMOGZZ V-Bucks store, maybe
it
we can
gives
get a
us some
stabilizer.
budget. It gives us some budget.
Give us budget, guys.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening to this episode. Yeah, make sure you
sure to-
follow us on the TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. Rate us 5 stars on there. You know, I have
Apple
all of these
Podcasts, Google
episodes,
Podcasts, Overcast.
everything, like everything is on there. We're gonna try and post clips soon enough. We've just been so busy from being
Way
sick
too busy,
to going
man.
to Mecca for Umrah, for the
Yeah,
pilgrimage,
just
Saudi,
everything at the
just
moment.
Lebanon, just family, whatever. But now, since we're settling in, we're gonna start posting again, and we're trying our best. All right.
We're doing our best.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
thank you for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, wait, you can't even end it. You gotta walk over there and end it, mate.
I do have to walk over there and end it. Thank you guys for listening to this episode, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of
Love
Easy Cast.
Cast.
Bye bye.